The headphones aren't being padded. Oh, Beardson's on Rumble? Ooh, Beardson, carry me. Beardson, carry me while I fix this fucking headset. He's on with this kid. This was the kid I was saying, the retarded kid. Give me that big shout out. I appreciate it. Okay.
Slam. They're gonna call you a racist, all that stuff, but you're basically saying like you should just say it anyways and not really care if they throw those labels. Because bro, they called Trump Hitler for like how many years? And now they call like everybody that disagree with Hitler.
Are they like, is this like good vibes?
Like, oh yeah, I don't like you, you're Hitler. You know, like Pierre Poilievre in Canada, you're Hitler. Donald Trump, you're Hitler. Like, if people say these like crazy things for long enough, they lose all meaning. Like, oh, you're a racist. I don't like you. You're a racist.
How old is this kid? Is this like a 15-year-old?
Well, that's why. That's why I'm like, I'm totally.
They can talk about wokeism next.
You know, like I said, I'm not like a Hitler.
Beardson, bring up wokeism.
I don't mind like people pointing out like the nice things that Hitler has done. I don't mind getting to like the truth of these things. It's like we have to. Hitler gets weaponized against us all the time. The Holocaust gets weaponized against us all the time. This term racist gets weaponized against us all the time. The only way that we're going to defeat these things
hamster
is by
lockdown,
destroying these idols.
No, she's in her big cage.
The only way we're going to be able to move past and actually make any sort of progress is just to be like, yeah, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Hitler wasn't that bad, actually. You're just a crazy person.
I mean, I personally do believe that Hitler is pretty bad, but I mean, I support your freedom to say whatever you want. I personally believe he did like kill a lot of people.
So. Yes, well, so did everybody else.
Beardson disavow Hitler.
Obama, so did Trump.
Will Beardson disavow?
Did Trump
Hitler?
Did he really? Like, did Trump and Obama kill? But did they kill anywhere near as many people as Hitler? Like, they didn't like create like a world war.
No, but I mean, you know, where do you draw the distinction, though? Exactly. I mean, ethically, you know what I mean?
Why won't Beardson disavow Adolf
Obama
Hitler?
was in a war. George Bush was in a war. Mussolini was in a war. Every great leader in the world has killed people, and they've killed a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. I don't want anybody to die.
The thing that marks a goated leader is the death.
They make Hitler out to be some sort of like
the death toll.
Tyrannical monster, as opposed to some other like figures in history. I don't think he's any more evil than a lot of like old history world leaders. Is he any more evil than Napoleon? Napoleon probably killed way more people than Hitler did. They're making a lot of movies about him.
I'm not well versed enough to really like give you a counter argument here, I'm not gonna lie. Because I do feel like they do lie about
what they accuse Hitler of. I don't think Napoleon.
That being said, like
comes close. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't grab
true, but keep cooking.
Yet that you're
I got it
out there, but
switch these headphones.
Maybe I'll learn more as things go on. I'm definitely open to hearing about it. But yeah, I do believe that like whoever wins, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, we're the bad guys. We won the war, but we are the bad guys. Blame us. The winner does rewrite the history. So you do have that going for your point for sure. That I agree with.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is kind of a funny one, right? What are your thoughts on numerology? Because I'm in my enemy year apparently right now, and I've kind of been stressed about. I'm like, oh no, I'm in my enemy year. I got like this like acne that just broke out of my face on like freaking enemy year. So what do you think about like numerology and all that stuff? What's your opinion?
Dude, I'm not a fan of it. I've talked to Gary several times about numerology, and he's always trying to get me to take a course and all this stuff. I don't personally ascribe to it. I think
these headphones suck.
Numerology and astrology.
Wait, they're talking about numerology now?
Are not compatible with my worldview, which is I'm a Christian.
He's a 4. That's why
God would
he's a 4.
Inscribe some sort of evilness to people inherently that they can't really avoid.
That's not what numerology says at all.
Not something that God has put into the world, right?
Where does he keep getting that? He just keeps saying stuff like that.
I think there's probably some coincidences.
You think you're not
that makes sense to people, and it's just like anything else. It's a way for people to look at the
things. You are. Everyone is.
You know, if you look into anything,
people
you can
more
obviously
susceptible
draw
to alcoholism than others.
I think the human mind does a good job of like filling in the blanks, but I don't ascribe to it personally.
Then explain. He's denying Irish people now.
It was July 16th,
these headphones,
1988.
These replacement headphones I got, which were supposed to be the same ones, suck.
You're kind of like thinking like you're.
And my good ones are broken.
You have a social battery, right? Like you kind of can be like an introvert.
Yeah, but I think every guy does. I think almost every guy's like that. You're like an anomaly if you're not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, almost like I think Zerka said, like, don't trust those people that always need to be around other people. Like they're weird. Like they're leeching off at everybody else's energy. Like,
yeah,
it is kind of weird if you're always wanting to be around people.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Who
I think
the
it's a
fuck
guy
is
like,
TysonHockley? I don't know. I've just seen him like interview Jordan Peterson's wife.
Yeah, I
and
like
stuff.
being alone. Who does?
I gotta switch
You know what I mean? No nagging bitch telling me I can't go drink beers.
I gotta
or,
switch my pad out.
Play
on
video
my
games
period.
or whatever. Like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, fair enough, brother. What is your thoughts on single moms?
Disgusting.
Ask him his thoughts on Sexy
unless
Red.
you're like a widow, no excuse.
Seriously?
I'm sorry. Yeah, could you? I mean, seriously, think about this. Imagine how awful a woman has to be to get a father to abandon their child. A father to abandon their child. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say that there's no bad dads out there, but I think it's the women's fault way more than we give credit for.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I can see that. Like, I can see some single moms kind of have that like girl boss energy about them, which kind of like it's like repelling for a lot of guys. But I don't know. To say that they're like disgusting people, like that's kind of a generalization. Like, there's probably a lot of single moms that are really genuinely putting in effort for their kids.
I'm just stealing this content. I hope you don't mind. I'm
personally, but
trying to switch these
out of all the
headphones out, but they're so hard to put.
I don't know. I don't really know
good pad on it.
That, but I would imagine that there's some like loving single moms.
I'm not going to say that they don't love their kids, but they didn't love them enough to put them in a stable household with a stable dad. Okay, they didn't love them enough to get married and lock in a relationship and provide them with a father. So I mean, how good is it? Like, I'm tired of this whole thing of like, oh, single moms are fucking based. Like, no, you're gonna get with a single mom? I'm not. Fuck that. They raise some motherfucker's kid. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't do that because like I just kind of feel like a cuck at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to say that they're terrible people. I just personally would want to start fresh with like, a woman who hasn't already been ran through, but I don't know.
I got one.
I don't know.
Okay, one of two done. Thank goodness.
Huh?
You just got to ask yourself, like, why did the dad leave? Yeah.
No, it's almost
kind of facts. Guys in chat, we have a lot of people in chat. First of all, please follow me on Rumble and then put down a question that you want for Beardson. I'll read some of your guys' out because I've blown through a lot of mine right now. Let's see if I have another good one. Here's one right here. That's good. What are your favorite streamers? Like, what do you watch? That's kind of like, because I think that the people that you watch a lot of the time mold your mindset. Who do you watch that's kind of like inspired you in a way? I guess you would say to streaming. Like, who do you watch that's kind of inspired your content?
To be honest, I just watch my friends.
Dude,
I don't watch
these
really
headphones
anybody
are
outside of my
trash.
sphere.
I
watch Nick.
I've been treated with such good headphones for so long.
My buddy Tyler Russell, he's awesome. And Rosalroot, who's my co-host.
These replacement ones are actually
I just mainly
terrible.
Watch my friends. I don't like to be influenced by other
order.
people. That's my thing.
The actual right one that I meant to.
I'm old. I'm like
send
36,
these other ones back.
So this whole like generation of streaming and stuff sort of like, I was like right at the tail end of it, really, and I just kind of happened to look into it.
You have HyperX headphones because I've recommended them. Make sure you don't have whatever the fuck
don't get me wrong. Like,
Xbox version is.
I like Zerka a lot too.
Not ever get a console headset. Like, this is the
Andrew Tate, of course. Like, those guys are cool.
This is the worst audio quality I've ever experienced with headphones. I swear, these are trash. These are fucking awful. If you get these headphones and the cord doesn't look like this. The HyperX cord doesn't look like this. Beardson shouts out Nick, Tyler, and Wurs, not Jimbo.
Cool, but
I can't even hear what
watch a whole lot of that stuff because like
this fucking piece of
I don't know. It just feels like when I stream, dude, it's like I just want to be myself, and I don't want to feel like I'm getting influenced really by anybody else.
You just shouted out.
I want to be original and I want to be unique and
everyone except
I try to like
for
stay
me.
Out of all of that because I don't want to start like because dude, like you start like watching somebody for too long, you start to pick up their mannerisms.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know what I mean?
I had HyperXs for years.
Social osmosis.
Yeah, well, HyperXs are good,
and I don't want to be that.
I bought a replacement pair of HyperXs,
so yeah, I'm pretty cut off.
And I guess I got like a Xbox version or something because they're trash. They're not surround sound.
Exactly.
The quality is horrible.
What age did you decide that you want to do this? Like, this is a good question. When you were in high school, what were your dreams and goals for life? And would you say that you've stayed pretty true to those?
Also, switch out the pads.
No, my dreams when I was in high school was I wanted to be a musician. And then I did that
What
for
do you
a
watch?
while.
Oh,
and
my
toured when I was,
friends.
like,
Yeah,
18,
like
and I
Tyler
realized
Russell
that,
and
everybody was hanging
like
out with was a bunch of
Wurzelroot.
fucking like dirty, smelly hippies, and I
My
did not want
friends
to
that I
be
watch?
around those people.
Hmm.
And I didn't want to end up like that. I didn't want to end up like eating mushrooms and like sleeping on the floor of a fucking donut shop. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gross. So I just went to college and got like a computer science degree. I never even intended to being famous or anything like that. This was never a dream of mine. Until I guess I sort of realized it was sort of a possibility. I started to blow up a little bit in 2016. So I'd make like pro-Trump videos and stuff like that, and like people like Mike Cernovich and Lauren Southern and all these people were like
It's happening.
retweeting me
They're
and
almost
following me and
on.
stuff. Like, oh man, this is cool. And it sort of like it kind of like opened its doors.
Are they so hard to
me.
get these on?
So it's nothing I ever wanted to do. To be honest, I hate being famous. It fucking sucks. For the record, yeah, it sucks. It sucks ass, dude. It's like I went to a Death Grips concert last year, and it's like I'm getting recognized like out in public, and it's like I don't want to be like Beardson. I just want to be like Matt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who got recognized at Death Grips
sucks.
concert?
I hate it. I hate the fame. I just
Really-
like the money.
really
Like, I like
blown
the
up.
money that comes with the fame. The money is great, right? But the fame itself sucks. I've been swatted, doxxed, you name it.
What do you not
slandered,
watch?
harassed. I've got people that are like dedicated their
JimboZoomer,
lives to
Paul
harassing
Town.
me and like stalking me and like slandering my every move. It
My
fucking sucks,
non-friends.
actually. It's not like it's.
Fuck.
I mean, and granted, it's like it's probably a little bit different.
Mass
for somebody like
unfollowing
you,
of Beardson
you know,
Beardley.
who's not
December
as
31st,
controversial.
mass
I
unfollowing of
obviously go
Beardson
out of my way to
Beardley.
piss
Leave
people
him in
off, and it obviously
January.
attracts a lot of
We
crazy
are leaving
people, so,
Beardson motherfucking
you know,
Beardley in January.
it is what it is. But I mean, I don't know if you like streaming.
stealing.
Though,
Someone
just do
said
it.
that
I mean,
in
that's the
my
thing,
replies.
and don't stop doing
Hey,
it.
can this please just
it's like I've been doing
just
this
go on?
for
Damn it! I can't hear.
9
Okay, wait.
years. You know, it's taken me a long time to get where I'm
Yeah,
at.
put the
And I got lucky. Like I got lucky.
the
with
audio
this
is
whole-
trash
this
on these,
whole,
but at
you know,
least
recent
it's
Twitter
usable
thing.
now,
It's
and it's
just,
comfortable.
pure luck. But you never know what it's going to be. You know, it's this one interview, this one stream, this one interaction with somebody else. Like that's how crazy it is. I had 16,000 followers before all this happened, and I'm almost at 100,000, basically off of one tweet. You know,
Yeah.
so.
Even this podcast right here, like this could be the podcast that blows me up. I already got clip accounts. I'm pretty sure posting clips. Like you could say
True, they
something here
love
that
Beardson.
I'm just like associate with, and then boom. But I don't know. I'd say like I've only ever been recognized like 3 or 4 times, and it's always kind of like catch me like by surprise. Like one guy
My
asked for
follower
autograph
counter
in
is
Subway
broken.
one time. It was kind
Why
of
do you
cool.
think it's broken?
But I feel like it is kind of cool. Like how often are you getting recognized when you go out?
Luckily, I live in like pretty rural Kentucky, so it doesn't really happen where I live. Like there are a couple people here in my city that like know who I am or whatever, but luckily it's not a lot. It's really only when I go to like big cities. I go to Nashville, or if I go to Chicago, or especially, you know, obviously if I go to like an AF event or something, it's like I'm taking pictures for 2 hours or whatever. So
Beardson back down to
Anytime
10K
anytime
followers.
I'm in an
Let's
airport, though,
go!
it seems like it happens, like a big
Leave this
city. But-
asshole
and I
in
don't mind it. Like, I don't
January.
mean to sound like a grumpy old man or anything. It's flattering, you know. It's very cool. But at the same time, it's like every time I feel like I leave the house now, it's like you sort of have to be guarded a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I can't just like kind of be myself, because the thing, you know, especially being in like politics, it's like
Oh,
some
wait.
guy
The
walking up
headphones
to
might
me,
just be
it's like,
quiet, 'cause I
don't know if
forgot.
he's a
There's
fan or
another
if he's, like,
volume
Antifa
control
and
on
he wants
them.
to fucking stab me or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so it's like this could go either way. Luckily, I carry a piece on me, but
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's
it
like, you
has
just
one of
never
these
know.
cheap.
Yeah, I think
Stupid
you've got a
little
lot,
Xbox
like, more
things
viral, and you've been doing this like
where
a
you can
lot
slide
longer.
it
I
up
don't
and
think I've
down.
quite reached the level.
There's like
where
a
I'm
mute
gonna be
button.
having like a whole bunch of people like
There we
Like,
go.
I've had a couple things blow up, but I don't know. I think I still really got to like be in this game for a little bit longer before I kind of get to that level. But I would imagine
Before we
that
get
would
to
be weird, because you don't know if somebody's gonna try and like punch
Beardson
you
level.
in the face, you know. Or
Thank
if
you
they
for the
just want a
follow
picture.
design
Or
group.
maybe
Let's
they
go.
Take a picture of them, take a video of them punching you in the face, post it.
Go to
and
kicks
now,
now,
I just
based.
bitched Beardson, you know. Like anything could happen. So
Skip forward to
kinda-
live.
No, I was like a liberal for.
Shut up.
I was like an atheist liberal from like 18 onward.
Is
you
this
know, I
big
dated
on
a
like Twitter
liberal
or something? I
chick,
thought
you
this
know,
guy was
and I
bigger
didn't really
than
care
this.
about politics, but it's like, you know, I'm gonna get laid, so vote for Barack Obama, sure, or whatever, you know. I didn't really care. It wasn't worth it for me. But I became, I guess, more based around like the Trayvon Martin incident, which I'm sure a whole lot of people don't remember. I think it was like 2013, 2014, where George shot and killed a young black teen named Trayvon Martin, and this was really the birth of BLM entirely.
Whoa.
And you'd see these pictures that they were sharing of Trayvon, and he's like a little innocent young kid. And then you go on the internet though, and you see him, and he's got his Glock out, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is like a total hit job. Like, why is that? And then you start to look into things, and you're like, oh, this is like they just hate white people. Like that's what it is. They just hate white people. Like that's what it is. Like they just
the
racist.
Twitter audio is like
the reaction to it. They burned down Ferguson, Missouri,
not synced up to
the video. I actually ended up driving through there after it gotten burnt down because I just wanted to see the destruction. It was. I mean, the town was devastated.
True, Ace of Win. True,
gangster kid that tried to go fight a Mexican guy or whatever, and he was trying to steal. The whole thing, the whole narrative was like ridiculous. So that sort of woke me up to that. And then
ask Beardson why he does white power radio if he's not racist.
I'm a misogynist because I'm a big gamer. I mean, I love video games. Video games, that's my thing. I've played games.
I help make cozy. It's hard to say goodbye.
Then you realize
you don't have to say goodbye.
Really
you can open it every day and then click the tick link off
Zoe Quinn, and
cozy
she's sleeping with 5 guys to gain like favorable coverage for her shitty ass like what was it called, Depression Quest, where it's like a fucking like a choose your own adventure thing. It's winning like game of the year or whatever, and it's like, oh, but it turns out she just fucked her way for favorable coverage from all these like new games journalist websites or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, so this is the problem. Women are just ruining gaming. So that's how I became a misogynist.
That's how you became a misogynist. What is your thoughts on female streamers?
Terrible. Shut it down.
How do you feel about?
Here's the thing.
How do you feel about women in the military?
And let's be honest, it's not even grown men. 90% of their audience are like horny, like 13-year-old boys. Like, let's be honest, it's like basically pedophilia, is what it is. At the end of the day, like that's
they design good.
It's a bunch of horny.
Big shout out! I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the very generous support,
dude. And they're out there like painting their fucking
Jimbo Text. Thank you so much.
Everything else like
W Design Group. Hey, totally, and I'll say, I love I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Cozy UI. When I'm talking shit about Cozy, I'm not really talking shit about Cozy. I just want you to go to damn Kick because I want my Kick viewership to be up because Cozy's dead because. Like, what would be driving traffic to Cozy? Okay, nothing. It's like, it will always exist. It's a backup. If you need to listen on audio only, it's cool if you can't get Kicks to work. But boosts my damn Kick viewership. But I will say, it is literally a better website than all the other ones.
Whether it's politics, video games,
it works
sports, you name it. This is all they do is they leech off. They're like vampires. They like leech off of us. They drain us dry and they profit from it. So yeah, ban them entirely.
Ban him entirely. Do you think that the argument of like free speech still applies to like OnlyFans chicks on Twitter? Because I've seen that argument. Yeah, Elon won't ban them when they're half naked or fully naked, even because free speech. What do you think about that argument?
I don't think it's free speech. Though.
I like the porn threads.
This is something that the government should get involved with. I mean,
the
government's
should
job
ban
at the
them.
end of the day is to protect its people and to uplift us. It is to
imagine Beardson went on this show and he was just like, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really have a problem with porn threads.
Us, and it is in fact destroying us and destroying our nation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like like OnlyFans and pornography should be outlawed in the same way that heroin and meth are. It's highly addictive and it leads nothing but to physical ruin. Men are getting erectile dysfunction. You notice how you see more like erectile dysfunction companies and shit like cropping up all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, was it Hims and Blue Chew and all this shit, and they're all over Barstool Sports and everything else. Gee, I wonder why. Because
dude, they're so that you can last 6 hours in your all night.
Clearly, like physically hurting.
Bro doesn't even know what Blue Chew's for.
Stop.
No, I genuinely believe that porn is so evil, and I think I
heard
too, like
a
rabbi owns Pornhub. What do you think about that?
Well, Jewish people are what
bro jerks it and then punches the air like, damn, they got me again.
States, I forget the guy's name off the top of my head, but you can literally just look up founder of porn in the West, and it's on his Wikipedia page. He said that he invented pornography to destroy the American white Christian household. That was why pornography was invented here in the West, or brought here in the West. It is a tool designed to rob people of their dignity, of their freedom, because they end up becoming slaves to their own sexual deviancy. It's gross. It's destructive. you know, you want to talk about like why the birth rates are going down, because even overall United States, if you look at the birth rates, we're in decline, like most nations in the world are. Why do you think that?
What if our solution to that was just banning like condoms and porn, but not like promoting marriage, just like
The government,
we gotta get these
and ban it,
we gotta,
because once they got high speed,
we just gotta get more babies.
Everybody was watching porn, and the rape statistic increased by like 400%.
Holy!
It was insane. It was insane.
We gotta pump that up.
That just shows the kind of mentality and evilness that breeds in the human brain. That
Hold on.
This access to pornography, and it's everywhere. You can't avoid it. I can't avoid it.
I thought he was arguing against it.
All of this like viral. I've women posting pictures of their titties at me and stuff, and like it's like,
oh, okay.
I want to see it.
Oh, humble brag.
You can't avoid it.
Humble brag much?
To turn it off.
Bro didn't mention me, so now I'm a-logging.
Something in Google, and you're gonna see, big black penises or whatever. You can't avoid it.
Yeah, even on my school account, I was on like a school Chromebook, and like this like hot single
big black penises
ad popped up while my teacher was like trying to help me with my work. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Like, everywhere I look,
school account.
Everywhere I look, a big black penis pops up.
Like, you shouldn't have to be exposed to this.
Right in your face.
Avoid it anywhere, man. It's like, it's so there, and I do like this
insane self-report
trend of
dude. Everywhere I go,
some states have been
when I look at Twitter, it keeps advertising me gay porn. What's the deal with it? Google thinks I love gay porn for some reason.
18, it's still just as damaging to your mental health, and unfortunately, so many young kids now, like.
Do you think
13 on
gay porn or straight porn is more
brings them into this?
It's more damaging.
It's like never ending. It's self-perpetuating. They're constantly needing that fix. It's gross.
Which genre?
Absolutely. Do you think
are maybe okay?
Go to hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. It's
Jimbo, why don't you have sponsors anymore? It ended at the
at the end of the day,
end of the year, and I think that the person that was
and that's through
running it hasn't negotiated any more deals.
His intervention
yet.
And if you do not,
I told them when they do to hit me up.
Christ, because I've had this is another crazy thing. I've had like OnlyFans girls be like, I'm Catholic, or like I'm Christian or whatever. It's like, but you're not really, right? How can you sit there and say, well, I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe he died for my sins. I believe he was the Messiah. But then ignore all of his teachings. Ignore everything that he said. Don't get me wrong. I'm a sinner. Like I mess up. I make mistakes. I'm sure a lot of the stuff that I've said on Twitter probably isn't very Christ-like, even though I genuinely do say all of it, with good intentions to make people laugh and to get people to turn away from this, this evil lifestyle that they're living. But
real fucking Catholic
doing this, profiting off of it,
real
Catholic, with,
like
sexual deviancy, right? Like me calling someone an ugly whore, like that's not great, but that only damages me. You making pornography actually causes other people to sin. It actually brings other people down with you into hell. Like it is so destructive.
It gives me boners. It makes me come.
I'm not going to sit here and definitively say whether
it makes other people get hard and then come.
I'm not like
true.
The Catholic Church never actually even said that this person is definitely in hell or not. So I'm not going to say that by any means. But if I
Bros have 200.
I have to take a guess. It's not looking good.
Get ready to unfollow at midnight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like that's so weird. You'll see like those conservative Christian, like, oh, I'm a good girl. And then onlyfans.com in their bio. It's like, how are you gonna be this base conservative?
So tired of that.
And you're selling your freaking tits for $5.99 on the internet.
Price of a cheeseburger.
Who is bro talking about?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
Trad wives have
all right, brother, I'm not gonna lie.
link trees in their
a lot
bios.
Of questions. Guys, in the chat, I'm being serious. Ask any questions that you have because I'm basically kind of ran through with all my questions.
Do you read mine? Read mine.
Okay, this is one I just came up with. What do you think about the Daily Wire?
Read them
also,
on.
what do you think about them like kind of getting rid of Brett Cooper and kind of like having
Candace Owens? Okay, Beardson, here's a question from chat. Do you think gay porn or straight porn is more damaging?
Are
and why?
Agents. I don't think it would surprise me at all if they
worked for Mossad. What do you think is the Daily Wire?
To be honest with
you,
I
think they're cool.
Mossad. And obviously, I think it's pretty clear.
They have conservative media
because she was speaking a little too close to the truth for their liking. Brett Cooper, I don't know the situation. I'd love to know what that was all about. That whole situation seemed very weird. It could, I mean, honestly, it could just be an innocent thing where she just thought she'd be more successful without them, and she'd make more money, which could be the case, you know. And you know, good on her. Whatever. I don't hate her. I don't think she's a bad person by any means. God bless her.
If Beardson is truly red pill, you say straight porn. Yeah, it's true.
Care. I won't be watching because she's a woman. I don't listen to women for my political takes. But you know, hey, go off. But yeah, Daily Wire is like totally evil, and it's just mediocre too. I mean, let's be honest, it's just mediocre content for mediocre people.
Is
and I don't
gay
think
porn
that they're gonna have like
or
the last
straight porn more insidious? What if I word it?
You look at the success of like Nick Fuentes.
What if I word it like this?
And the Groypers, that's where the youth and the energy is.
Which is more insidious.
And I think you look at Daily Wire, it's like most of their fan base is probably 50 plus. You know, they're dying out. They're a dying breed. And I think that they're struggling to sort of capture the youth, quite like Nick and you know, Fresh and Fit and Tate and Zerk and all these other people have. I think the tides are turning. Thankfully, I think people are waking up, and so hopefully they won't be around in 20 years. But well, who knows?
I used to be such a big fan of them in grade 9. I used to bump the Matt Walsh podcast every single day. I'd walk up to the grocery store, get a pack of cookies, eat them all on the way home while bumping freaking Matt Walsh, thinking I was so based. But I don't know, it just kind of got boring after a while. Like, I don't think it really does. Like, I always felt like I was like a freaking 30-year-old political guy when I'd listen to it. Like, it doesn't relate to the youth at all. And, like, none of my friends even probably know who Matt Walsh is. So, I don't know. I think...
Bro, don't admit to that. Do not admit to what you just said ever again.
Talking to, like...
Never admit to that ever again.
The younger generation. That's the most important
Jimbo,
thing.
Brother.
That's how Trump won.
Hey, brother.
You know, streaming with Aiden Ross, going on Theo Vaughn. That's literally how Trump won, was getting the
younger used to be a Walshy.
So I think that's got to be more of like an important point for, I think, base people to
brother.
Because like we're really the
brother
on this podcast too. Like,
dude, and you're doing it so well.
Me too,
it's true.
I am younger, so get the youth. You know, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I know it's like rich for me to even say all this too, because I'm like a millennial, dude. Like I'm old. I'm like halfway dead, you know, at this point. But I'm just also like an immature buffoon. So I think that really relates to the Zoomer audience for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody's saying, ask about White Power Radio. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, it was like a joke show that I did like a few weeks ago. Just
he's a white supremacist.
Too, I do make fun of Nazis too, like straight up, because like, you know,
that checks out. Fucking asshole.
There's a group of like trailer park, trailer trash. You know, dude's got like swastika, you know, tattoos and shit like that. So I like to make fun of those guys because they're idiots. So I made like a little parody show called like White Power Radio to make fun of them, and I would try to bait them in, and like it was like basically Jerry Springer, you know what I mean? It would be like, you know, National Socialist versus Black transvestite, you know, sort of space. It was pretty funny.
We're basically Jerry Springer. That's true.
Absolutely. The chat's blowing up. They're saying racist much. Wow, that checks out. Effing asshole. He's a white supremacist. What the? Yeah, but these are all your guys though. Like JimboZoomer, JT Man, like these are all fans. So
Jimbo. No, Jimbo's a troll, dude. Don't listen to Jimbo. He's just mad because we talked about trannies and he's a former transsexual. He detransitioned, but he still takes it very, you know, close
what
to
is
heart.
This slander?
Yeah, look at him. You can tell he's like a former transsexual. So
God.
And Beardson used to do midget porn.
Yeah.
Lock in, man.
He's detransitioning. He's on his path, but you know.
Yeah, he's born again.
Ask Beardson about his
He's getting there.
old
Let's see.
his
says Matt Walsh
gay midget porn career.
It's kind of true. Okay, are Jews satanic? Is their god Satan? There's a question for you there.
Ask him about his gay midget porn.
I subscribe to this belief that like, look, I don't think Jewish people are like inherently.
Okay,
like,
spam the chat.
People.
Everyone go in and spam the chat.
Speaking, I think the religion is
evil. Say press Beardson about
it is a complete
on the gay midget porn that he created.
But I think, you know, if you're a Jewish person, you can kneel in front of the cross. You can experience salvation, but it does require you to abandon.
Go.
Sort of, I mean, I do think that Judaism is satanic.
Go.
I think that anything that isn't Christianity is satanic at the end of
the
day.
The snake is crazy. I know. I'm a 6. I'm supposed to do that. You're a 4.
Because I do think to a certain extent, like every religion to a certain degree has some sort of
fucking asshole
underlying truth in it. And I think that all religion is a sort of pursuit of truth. But I think that like
all right, ban Karasi from our chat some more.
Corrupted, I guess, by Satanism, if that makes sense, by Satan and his influence. I think that you know, I don't know. Judaism sucks. It is like evil. I mean, like, have you ever seen like these Jews like trying to trick God? You know what I mean? Like they have like the wire in New York City that goes around like 10 blocks or whatever, because then they can consider that their domain and they can leave their house on Sabbath. You know what I mean? Or like
Really?
they have these little lights that are like always on. Because they're not allowed to like flip a light
spam
switch
this in his chat
on Sabbath. They're not allowed to like use electricity. But if they just, so they'll have this little light that's always on, but they cover it and they just like turn this thing and it uncovers it. This is like a whole industry. I saw this one chick. She was like, well, we're not allowed to ingest caffeine on Sabbath, but God never said that we can't stick it up our butt. So I bought these caffeine pouches. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing, dude. It's crazy. Like,
wow.
Caffeine shots up her ass to trick God and be like, well, God didn't say I couldn't do this, you know?
Holy shit. So that's like actually a thing that like some Jewish people.
We leaving, bro, in January.
You got caffeine up their ass.
Unfollow at midnight.
Do you get the same effect?
I guess. I mean, I've heard of people like
have you ever done it?
Boys and stuff like.
Have you ever done that, Beardson?
And they say, "Oh, get you drunk faster." So I guess so, but I'm not trying it. You know.
Holy shit! Now I feel like a lot of that stuff is kind of like a cult. Like you can't use electricity, you can't drink caffeine. You can do it every single other day, but this one day it's the Sabbath, dude, and you can't. Not to be disrespectful, but that does kind of like seems kind of cult aspect-y.
Yeah, it's weird. You know what I mean? It's just weird and backwards. It's very like old world. You know what I mean? And this is why like Christianity.
Does Beardson enjoy his streams with Milo? Yes.
Jesus came down.
Yes, press him on that.
You guys are a little too much.
Hey, remember when Beardson said Milo was awesome?
Do you believe that like Jesus
fucking asshole?
Like when he was on the cross and he's saying, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they've done," and he was like praying. This is my biggest thing, right? Who would Jesus pray to if Jesus is God?
To the Father. So and this is like one of the hardest. I don't blame anybody. Me and Sneeko have talked about this, and I don't blame Sneeko for not getting this, because the Trinity is one of the most esoteric concepts in all of Christianity, and it's very hard to wrap your head around. And it's sort of one of those things in a way that you have to understand that like really you'll never really understand the true nature.
It's really difficult,
right? Like how could in our feeble human minds that are created by God understand and sort of capture and contain the essence of God in our own head? You know, it's a very hard thing to do. But the way that the Trinity works,
ask Beardson about when he got caught.
Three distinct persons with three distinct traits and
Vitali's
right?
to catch a lot of this a predator really stream.
Jesus doesn't need to pray. He doesn't need to. But why he does this is to set an example for us that even God himself, you know, is praying to the Father, that God himself is still reaching out and praying. He's not doing these things for his own benefit. He's not doing these things because it benefits him. He is God. He is going to ascend into heaven regardless. But he does a lot
actual
of
question for Beardson. Why does his friend Veda worship a Braxis?
Praying on the cross or anything like that. He's doing that just to show us and to be an example for us, because at the end of the day, we as Christians are called to act like Christ in every way. So that's sort of my.
This is too esoteric and complex for me.
That makes a bit more sense.
It's really esoteric where he's praying to himself to set an example.
The way you say that, like he's like just being an example, I guess that kind of does make a little bit more sense. That's just the thing about like Islam that made the most sense for me. It's like one God. I'm sure you might have seen my video saying like I'm considering Islam. That's kind of my thing. Is like, okay, it's just one God.
That's good clickbait. I'm not gonna lie, that's good clickbait.
Honestly, that does make a lot of sense. I had a whole bunch of people saying,
if it wasn't boring ass podcast content like this, that would be a good video.
I'm not super religious, really.
It wasn't like
on my own quest.
Boring.
I don't think that you should discourage people from searching for other religions. And I don't know, man. It just seemed to make a lot of sense. You know, like Jesus is from God. That's why he's praying to God when he's on the cross. But
yeah, I mean,
I know I'm gonna get hate for that because this is like this community. You guys in the chat flame me for this video. Even the first comment on the stream was like, "Oh, this is the kid that wanted to go to Islam. That's so embarrassing."
Why was he there?
Like, genuinely, the truth doesn't mind being questioned.
Ask Beardson about when he got caught on Vitali's Catch Better stream.
If the truth is the truth, then it's just gonna have a comeback and it's gonna prevail in the end. So, guys, I think we should honestly be more open to just freaking critical thought and just thinking about shit.
Juice.
I think it's good that you're open to the possibilities.
He said you're open.
I understand. I was an atheist for a long time. I didn't believe in God at all until like 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So I think it's good. I think it's good that you're pursuing the truth. And even somebody like me who is a Christian, I like to learn more about Islam because I want to be able to debunk it, right? At the end of the day, whenever I get into an argument with somebody, I want to be able to pursue them towards the actual truth. One thing that you said, and I won't like make this like a whole like religious debate or anything like that, but you said, well, one God makes much more sense.
Arguing about whether there's one God or a Trinity is the worst way ever to convert someone from Islam to Christianity, because they just disagree because they believe in the other religion. Like, you're not going to logically prove one way or the other.
Comprehend, like, to come up,
no offense,
2,000 years
respectfully,
ago, to come up
no
with
offense,
these sort of esoteric ideas that are
it's
like
not
so
esoteric,
beyond, like, our understanding. Like, to me, that is like proof in of itself that it is divinely inspired, that this is knowledge that comes from outside of the source of humanity.
You want to learn about Islam, but not
from
Abraxas.
the heavens. Whereas like something like Islam, you're like, well, that makes
only
sense
for
to
the
me.
ears
like,
of the wise.
Yeah, because you were a man and because it was written by a man.
Yo, that's actually low-key a good argument. Bro, that's probably the best kind of argument I've heard for that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Damn,
has he ever talked to anyone?
What kind of like made you switch
I'm
from
a-logging too hard.
to
Dude, just say, Jim, when you're gonna list your friends, don't forget JimboZoomer who's watching it live, you asshole. I mean, I didn't have my headphones on, so I don't even. But fuck you.
Really bad experience in my life. I was at the lowest point in my life. Thought about killing myself.
Oh shit.
You know,
don't do it.
Dad was
don't
in a
do
coma
it.
For
Never kill yourself.
2 months. Thought he was gonna die. My mother-in-law had passed away at the time. Like literally a week after. I was just like at my wits end.
Okay.
I was broke,
all right.
started a new job.
Now I look like the asshole.
Was going right.
Now I look like the asshole.
I was working like 14 hours
my
a day.
Gosh.
Just everything sucked. And I just like I didn't know what else to do.
Oh
so
my gosh.
In my
now
car
I'm the asshole.
Driving to work, and I was like, God, I don't know if you're there or not.
No, my Binding of Isaac argument is like the most compelling one.
2 days later, my dad wakes up from a coma miraculously.
Because they'll agree with you.
Not only that, and my dad's like not a touchy-feely guy at all. Like we never talk about love or religion or anything like that.
Not funny.
I walk into his hospital room. First thing he tells me, he's like, I saw the devil, I saw Satan, and I saw Jesus. And he said, tell them I'll come quickly. And I was like, well, all right, like I'll look into it. And luckily for me, because I was friends with Nick and in America First, there's a lot of people that were Catholics. I wasn't a Catholic growing up. I was Protestant. I was Pentecostal, and I converted to being a Baptist when I was a teenager. I started to study Catholicism, and it just clicked.
Why is John Boner and Ireland rape graper arguing in my chat?
Fact of Christianity. It's 2,000 years old. The church was founded by Jesus Christ in the year 33 AD. The historical documents and texts all affirm it. There is like real concrete, I think, evidence and proof. There's
Christianity and Islam are both brown originally, so not true, says John Boner. Then Ireland rape graper says Middle East wasn't as brown 2,000 years ago. Then John Boner says, that's your cope, huh? In reality, that's not true. Palestinians and Middle Eastern Christians still. I don't know what that means. Then John Boner says, looks similar to then. But that inherent need for one's mythos to fit in with their ancestral lineage causes these weird mixtures of thinking to occur. Ja. Are you from Brazil?
You'd be like, oh, I saw Jesus in a dream. And they'd be like, cool, bro, but that's just a dream.
John Boner is calling.
Like, what would you say to somebody who's like, oh, yeah, your dad was
what does John Boner think?
Oh, he could be.
Can they add him to this interview?
No. You know what I mean? That could have totally been the case. I'll never truly ever know until I'm able to, hopefully one day go to heaven and ask God himself if that was a vision or not. That's a totally real and fair argument. But what I can say is that, and this is something that
dude, are they gonna press him on
or take away from
being caught on Vitality stream?
The moment that I walked into the Catholic Church for the first time, and I felt the presence of Christ. I felt the presence of God there. And that's not like, I know it's not like a
Beardson about when he got caught on Vitality's.
But for me personally, it was like, and that's something that you can argue Allah or Hindu or Buddha or anything like that. But when I stepped foot into my first mass, it's like I felt the presence of God. I felt like
the presence of the Buddha.
Anymore, man. I was in this sort of
the great Buddha
ethereal plane. Really, it was truly an experience unlike
left
any
my
other.
body.
And that's why I just challenge people.
Dude, I can't be listening to him say this. I can't help but just like, A-Log, I'm such an asshole. I can't. Anytime I listen to like any of these other,
even if you're
any other cozy
like,
streamer,
just try praying. Just be open to the possibility.
I can't help myself.
And I'm not even saying Christian.
$3. Listen.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Say this once. The Middle East was white, and if you think it wasn't, you're a... Now, yes, and Mongolians constantly invaded from the south and the east over thousands of years. Don't be a...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. Arabs are a mixture of a lot of things, but they have Indian.
Mosque, I've been to church. Honestly, in the mosque and at church, I kind of felt like the same level of peace and like connectionness. That's why I did one video. It's like, what if Muslims and Christians are praying to the same God? They just kind of have like their stories.
Now we're becoming enlightened. Oh, good.
I mean, you know,
just kidding.
I don't think that Muslims and Christians are.
Just kidding.
I think that
where am
Muslims are praying to God in their own way. And I think, you know, I don't hate Muslims.
What if you're always just praying to yourself?
I think that I would much rather you be a Muslim than an atheist. You know, I think that's something.
Do as thou wilt.
It's always good to try to affirm God and live a moral life. Obviously, we're gonna have different concepts of what that looks like, but at the end of the day, I think it's hard to say that like Muslims are like immoral people. You know what I mean?
Muslims pray to Satan. Oh yeah,
atheists, but. I don't know, because to me the big
Muslims
difference
pray to the moon god Ishtar.
I believe in the Holy Spirit. I believe in Jesus Christ, in the Father. You know, right. I believe that they are all the one being. So it's like not really the same.
You ever wonder why there's a crescent in their flags?
At the end of the day, I think God's a generous God too. I think that God maybe will understand that some of them they got things a little wrong. You know, and He's not going to bend straws.
Tyson Bell needs more sleep. Yeah. You're sleepy.
I think that there's only one God, and that is the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Fair enough, brother. Somebody says, "Did you know near death the brain?"
Okay, I would disagree. I mean, okay, Catholic heads, hear me out on this. If you're praying to God, if your intention is to pray to God, but you're like just not in the right sphere, like I don't think your prayer is going to Lucifer. Like I don't think your prayer is going to Satan. I mean, you should end it in the name of Jesus Christ, right? And it should be addressed, I guess. But like that would insinuate that God's like aware that you're trying to pray to Him, but you don't really understand it correctly, and is like, sorry, you didn't say the magic word. Not to say like they're all worshiping correctly. Not to say like not to be universal about it. I'm just saying like the actual act of prayer, right? In and of itself, wouldn't you still be praying to God, like more or less? And maybe that breaks down if it's like Odin or something. Like then it's different. But if you're praying to some like sort of the same idea, like a Father in heaven, the Creator above, but you get the details wrong. I mean, like, I don't know. What, is He just gonna ignore you? Is He gonna be like, ah?
Like the devil's not going to come to you with horns and like scare the shit out of you.
C.S. Lewis would agree. The Catholic Church says the same thing. Read Nostra. Atate. Yeah, they're theologically wrong, but intentionality.
He's the greatest trickster.
Intentionally wrong, but not intentionally wrong.
I mean, of all time. You know, people like often like they want to paint him as like a little.
Ignorance is no excuse for the law.
Pitchfork. You know what I mean? It's like no. He is.
That's like a secular.
He was. I mean, he was like a high angel.
That's literally incorrect. Ignorance in that sense absolutely is an excuse. That's why Jesus Christ acts as your advocate on Judgment Day if you're apologetic and repentant. Like that's the whole point. That's why in the Garden of Gethsemane He experienced all of the pain of all of humanity and His hands bled. All right, whatever. No, it's cool.
Wife, kids, house.
So you know everything you went through,
nice to
so you could have your advocate.
That's the key to success. Like we've clearly figured it out for 2,000 years.
Apologetic.
And you can sit there and try to deny it all you want. You can go to Woodstock and fuck each other in the mud, smoke weed or whatever all you want. But at the end of the day, you're just putting a bandage over what's really affecting you, which is like down in here.
Right.
Of course, every retard but me, dude. when anyone chats, it scrolls up. Okay, it's hard. Let me see. Nemchris, what did Nemchris say? Nemchris said, God will not yield in his unrelenting torture if you F the details up. Okay, you're trolling. Nemchris says, listen to me, Jimbo. I'm the only one who actually knows this stuff. Catholic popes have declared that Muslims pray to the same God. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, like, even if, like, let's say that because you were raised in, like, a messed up culture or something, but you were truly praying to, like, what you thought was a benevolent father, you know, like God above, Father above, you could be ending the prayer in, like, Lucifer's name. Like, if you're being tricked into saying that, and it wouldn't be like God doesn't know that you mean him, and he'd be like, you know what I mean? It's like the intention is there. As long as the intention is there, he's aware of the intention. It could be, you know, it could be like that, I feel like, and it would still be the same way. But if you're intentionally praying to like like Lucifer or like an evil entity for malicious things, then you wouldn't be, obviously, right?
What is your opinion on people who smoke weed?
Degenerate.
Fuck you, dude. Snake year. Oh my gosh, the snake year. Fuck you.
I say this. I used to smoke weed like quite a bit in my younger years. It's fucked, dude. I've lost so many friends to marijuana. So many, because they've just become burnouts, you know? Everybody seems to act like it's some like harmless thing.
They're all dead.
That it doesn't, it's, you know, it's not addictive. First off, it absolutely
no gooning,
is
no
addictive.
weed,
People
fuck
get
this.
addicted to weed. I have seen people literally flame out, crash out because they ran out of weed and they couldn't get their fix, dude. It's depressing, you know? I've seen girls like sucking dick for weed, straight up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people absolutely are addicted to it. And I think that it makes you lazy. I think it actually.
How is that a real thing?
It makes you more creative. I think it makes you less
You
creative.
get like
actually.
a gram pen for like $60.
As a creative person, who I play guitar, I make music and stuff. I do video.
You're
editing,
sucking dick
stuff.
for like.
It makes you way less
creative.
Than
that.
It way less motivated. Don't get me wrong. I had a great time, you know, smoking weed with my homies and playing Halo 3. You know, and if that's your goals in life, if that's all you want to do, then chief away, my friend. But if you aspire for anything more, you shouldn't touch it.
Yeah, they say it's like the ambition killer. Like,
it should be sucking dick for clout.
I don't think I've ever smoked weed and be like been productive. Maybe I've gone to the gym once.
They do it for love of the game. Yeah,
it's never a good workout.
It's not about the weed.
Like, I definitely have stopped
the love of the game
entirely because I just realized it's just like I don't know.
Beardson didn't mention that it was his dick.
And I started
I've watched bitches suck dick for weed before.
Like, oh yeah, look at you sitting on the couch right now.
What?
You're so far behind what you should be. There's a version
I've
of you
watched
out there right now who's freaking interviewing Beardson, who's interviewing Andrew Tate, who's blowing up on the internet, taking the internet over and having a good message and being freaking productive. And here you are on this couch with your homies, freaking high. Oh, you know, like there's no motion there at all. You're just sitting there. And also, I have asthma too, so that shit would.
Okay, real question. Would this interview be even slightly different if they were both hitting weed pens? I feel like it would be really like similar. I feel like it'd be pretty close.
And I'm not kidding, dude. I just got like, at first I thought I was going to have a heart attack. You know what I mean? Like, my fucking heart's like racing and shit. And then I'm getting all paranoid. I'm like, oh, dude, like, what if somebody called the cops on me or something? And I'm like, it wouldn't even matter. It's Kentucky. Like, they give you a ticket. It's not like you're gonna go to jail.
If they were hitting the blinkers and Blinkley.
Like, pathetic. I was like, yeah, I'm too old for this shit, man. This
can't keep classic.
I don't know. Do you think that like weed is also like satanic? Like, do you think
was his dick as me dead.
Like spiritual doors?
I've watched bitches suck dick for weed.
I don't think that it's like some sort of like hallucinogenic or anything like that. I think it inspires psychosis. And I do think it's like evil. So, I mean, I think, you know, if you want to make the argument that everything evil is satanic, then like, sure. But I mean, I don't think it's some, you know, 666 pentagram sort of portal into another world or anything like that. I just think it makes you fat and dumb.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Shoot, I was totally just about to ask you a question. I just completely forgot. Like, this is what happens when you don't do a podcast in a while. I had a question, I was about to fire, and
fell off.
Boom, just straight from my
brain. Was dealing with the 10th grade and he fell off. Damn. Beardson, ask him how
think of it.
Junior year is going.
This has been a great interview. Can you ask Beardson if he will do a show next with Mulaney Mac? I don't know who that is, but question for you.
No, I'm good. I'm good on Melanie Mac. And she's like my arch nemesis. I can't stand her.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't stand her.
Read
Fair
it.
enough.
Read it.
Yeah,
Read
I
it.
don't
Read
even
it.
know who she is. So,
Keep it that way. She's awful.
yeah, fair enough.
Read it. Read it. Read it.
Oh yeah, here's my thing, right? What do you think about people who have psychosis and schizophrenia? Do you think that's their
They
own
should smoke
brain telling
weed.
them stuff, or do you think that's like demonic possession?
Oh,
That's what I was gonna ask.
I mean, so
I think Paul has
for
a demon
long
inside of him.
time, I think I haven't studied too much into this, but for a long time,
I think
the Catholic
I think
Church
Paul Town
did sort of treat it as like demonic
needs to be
possession.
exercised.
But obviously, science I think has advanced in a long way. So I think like 90% of the time, it is just sort of like a brain chemical imbalance sort of thing.
2
I'm not
minutes
gonna rule it
behind.
out.
Skip
I
to
think
live.
sometimes it
Well, I
could
want to hear this
possibly be
answer.
Demonic possession, I do firmly believe in that, but I don't think that demonic possession is nearly as prevalent.
You're gonna
as a lot
tear
of
up
people
that
try to make it
box.
out to be. You know, you see these Protestant
Bro, it
Christians
is
out there
high.
who are like, this person is demonic. This
Imagine
is demonic.
everyone who's
Everything's
saying fuck
demonic."
weed
I
is
hate
just
calling
like
shit demonic all the
high out of
time.
their
It's like,
minds.
I mean, it's evil and it's wrong, but like they sit there and think there's some like little gnome imps, you know, pulling the strings, or it's like actually just people are pieces of shit sometimes. Actually, like turns out we're just living in a fallen world and things just kind of suck, you know. And you know, sometimes people are born with shit that's fucked up in their brain, you know, and hopefully they can be treated and cured.
Why do you think that God would let that happen though? Like, why do you think God would allow?
Yeah,
somebody
why
to
would he
go through,
predestine them
say like schizophrenia? 'Cause
like
that
that?
shit seems terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
that just
schizophrenia
seems
seems terrible. And why do
unfair.
you think that Jesus just let that happen?
How would they be
And, like,
predestined
do
for
you
that?
think if you prayed, you could like pray that stuff away, or do you think it's all just like
Yeah, bring it back to the
scientific stuff?
numerology argument.
Well,
Hit him.
I mean, I think God can do
Cook 'em.
anything, right?
Cook 'em.
And it just goes back to the bigger question of like, why does God let bad things happen?
As a
You know?
weed addict,
And at
fuck
the end of the day,
weed.
there's just no real good
Yeah.
argument for it. You know, it sucks, right? You know, it's hard to look at somebody whose wife just died or their kid just died, you know what I mean, and be like, well, God works in mysterious ways, you know. It's not really a sufficient answer.
You should say it
for
like
something
that.
like that, even though that is sort of the truth.
It's okay. God works in mysterious ways.
You know,
Good fortune
it
coming your
sucks.
way soon.
All that I can say is that God doesn't give you any challenge that you cannot handle, and I've experienced that personally. Whether it be even something as debilitating as
This is a
schizophrenia
blessing
or
in
paranoia
disguise.
or ADHD or any of
This
these
is a
things.
blessing
you know,
in
it's awful
disguise.
and it sucks.
Don't
but
worry.
God has a plan in store for every single person on this earth, and no matter how hard it gets, no matter how bad things may seem, you know, and there's been plenty of saints that have done this. They look up in the sky and they're like, God, why would you let this happen to me? And right when they lose hope, God intervenes and God helps them. So, you know,
That is true. I'm being such an asshole. I don't actually even disagree with like most of what's being said. I'm just live streaming, and it would be so boring to be watching this if I wasn't laughing a little bit. No
It
offense.
almost comes back to like that Muslim point of view, right? That everything in life is a test. So like God.
But I'm
will
not an
burden you
Elog,
through
I
what
swear.
through what you can't bear.
Like,
but
I
he'll
agree
give
with
you, like,
Beardson there.
tough things as a test to kind of mold you into a person, see how you come out of it, kind of.
Have
As
fun
a
in
Christian,
hell.
do you believe that
No.
like a lot of
No.
life is a test from God or
No.
no?
Yeah, absolutely. I think God tests us and challenges us all the time. I mean, look at the
the whole
book of
point.
Job, for instance, in the Bible.
I think we hear.
Like, who had it harder than Job? You know, then this is a guy who firmly believed in God. He was dutiful in his prayer. He was faithful to God. God's like, cool, I'm going to kill your kids. Cool, I'm going to burn down your farm. You know, like just
Blessing in
continue to test him
disguise.
over and over. And even his friends are
Blessing
like,
in
doubting him. They're like,
disguise.
what did you do to piss God off? And he's like, I didn't do anything, man. And his friends abandoned him because they think he's some like secret sinner, right? He lost everything. You know, his wife is telling him, like, you have to abandon God. And he refused. But he was rewarded at the end of that. You know, he finally broke down and was like, God, why is this happening?
Because God
What
won the
ends
bet.
up happening? God reveals himself to him. And he was like,
W.
"You
Job.
are but a
W. Job in the
speck
chat.
in the grand universe of everything that I've created. You are but one thing in this grand cosmos of everything that is at my hands."
Have you tried something called
And
reading the Bible?
Job humbled himself and he turned his path back to God. He had more kids. His farm, he was more successful than he ever was. I firmly believe that, yeah, God tests us all the time, and it's up for us at the end of the day to remain faithful to him, and he will reward us. And even if he doesn't reward us on this earth, he will reward us in heaven, which is the greatest reward.
Is the book of Job a
Why do
parable?
you think that God would kill his kids
I forgot what
and
the
wife, though? Like,
esoteric
what did his kids and wife do to
explanation of
deserve
it is.
that?
Well, he didn't kill his wife. His wife was still around. That was the kind of the worst part. Is like he didn't kill the wife. The wife was still nagging him. So you know what I mean?
That was the worst part, is that he didn't kill the wife.
Yeah.
He read it out.
But I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like we are but God's humble creation. It's not for us.
Did he read out the Veda worship of Abraxas?
His ways or his
Hold on, we gotta skip ahead.
It's up. And I think at the end of the day, God has proved, take this hill. We need you to take this bunker. You
Beardson, why he was caught practicing dark magic with a way.
come in and take it.
Here we go.
The idea is that, at the end of the day, we all serve a purpose, and our purpose is to serve God. So
it's pretty based. I see a couple of people asking this. Hey, Tyson, can you ask Beardson why he was caught practicing dark magic?
Can you guys spam mine?
Who goes by the name Veta. I don't know what that's about at all, but I've seen a couple of people asking about that.
True, though.
It wasn't dark magic. We played Fortnite. Is what we did.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't talk too much about Veta. He is like a wizard, and he could cast like curses or spells. So.
Oh.
He plays sorcerer in Dark and Darker, so I'd steer clear.
Private conversation with Gary, the numbers guy was about. I think we already talked about that.
Yeah, I haven't had a private conversation with him. I'm just talking to him in spaces a few times.
Talk about when you met up with Gary, the secret meeting.
All right, brother. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of all out of questions. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, I think what can you give to me who's aspiring to kind of get to that level?
Man,
bro's asking him, how can I get to Beardson Beardly level? Let's go. Let's fucking Beardson really blew up in 4 days, and he's got kids asking him, Beardson, how can I be at Beardson Beardly level?
Absolutely. I guess one last question. Sorry. What advice would you give to me with everything that I'm doing right now, doing this podcast and stuff? What's one piece of wisdom as somebody who's kind of already made it in a sense? What can you give to me?
There's levels to this kid.
Man, I'll give you the same advice that I would give to everybody else. And
Jimbo.
I'm not even sure I'm in a position to really give advice because I'm just the guy that got lucky, really, at the end of the day. But consistency is the most important thing. Like, literally just never give up.
The grind.
And I know you're like on the fence. Pray about it, man. Seriously, even if you don't believe in God, like, what does it hurt?
Mm-hmm.
What does it hurt to pray? You know what I mean?
That's true.
And maybe you can like rationalize it, like, well, maybe I'm just like putting these things out in the universe, or I'm
listen to
whatever.
Listen to Kanye.
Just pray on it and stay and just keep going with it, man. It
read your
took me
Bible.
8 years to get where I'm at. You know what I mean? 8 years, and I got lucky off of one tweet. That's all that matters, dude. And maybe hopefully it won't take you that long.
There are levels to this shit, kid.
Maybe
or even 5 years.
Yeah,
already 5 years of grinding.
Yeah. But
he's been grinding.
You just got to keep with it, man. It's consistency.
How old is he?
And just
was he grinding in 7th grade?
Just being yourself.
Bro's been making content since he was
Don't try to
in elementary school.
Somebody else's mold. You're gonna get haters. You're gonna get people that are gonna talk shit about you.
I was in 3rd grade
they don't
making
have your best interest in heart.
Political content.
They want to see you fail. They want to see you fumble. Don't listen to them. Just stay true to yourself and just stay consistent. And I think you'll go far, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, man. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you too, man. Appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to do this again in the future because I really enjoyed this. So.
Yeah, man. I'm down. Just let me know.
Answer the Vitaly question.
Care, have a good one.
Man.
You too, man. God bless.
God bless.
Sweeping for Beardson.
W freaking
Sweeping
Beardson,
for the Vitaly Predator, huh?
That was W convo, man. I'm not gonna lie. Very humble, very down to earth guy.
You make me sick.
Guys, we have 115 people watching. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna get the Clippers getting active. So, W stream, guys. W sweeping for the Vitaly Predator. I have no idea what that even is.
You make me sick.
I got no clue what that is. I mean, I know who Vitaly is, but I don't know what you mean by that. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. God bless you. Take care. Thank you all for watching.
We're such good trolls.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Seriously though, okay, let's press Beardson. Shall we press Beardson motherfucking Beardly? I have 4 unread messages from Beta.
Bro, if I'm gonna get fucked,
I saw that the last video you sent me there, Veda, and was thinking about sending it to you, but I just didn't save it. I saw that exact same one. That's so cute. Okay. Let's press Beardson on this. Snakes and motherfucking Snakely, dude. Answer! Dude, why is this so loud? Turn this off. Like, why does Discord have to do this? Fuck off. Why is the dialing the loudest thing ever? He didn't answer, dude. He didn't even answer. Wait, is my mic working? Yeah, why is it not working on Discord? Voice and video. Voice mod. Hello? Test? There we go. Beardson. Dude. Snakes and Snakely. Answer. Makes me sick. Okay, next.